What's up guys, Rich here with Eugen Wegner's One. So if you're not familiar with the brand, know that it is a storied brand out of Hamburg, Germany. The brand was born in 1897 and enjoyed success mainly with their pocket watches and maritime chronometers until the 1960s when they closed their doors. But fast forward to 2017, where Eugen Wegner's great-great-grandson Johann revived the brand. And the One is part of their revival collection along with their Hevelius and Phoenix. The One is in 43 millimeters. It's 50.1 lug to lug. It's 13.6 millimeters tall. And it uses a 20 millimeter strap width. So I know at first glance, the One is more on the simpler side, right? There's not a lot of colors. There's not any bling to it. It's just more on the simpler side. But what it does have is a lot of nice luxurious details and touches. So the One is going to be for someone who is really confident about the watch that they have. And so when I'm talking about the nice luxurious details, let's start with the dial, because it has a lacquered brass dial, which shares a similar look to the more traditional enamel dial. The difference with an enamel dial is enamel dials use glass that is then heated and baked onto the dial, whereas a lacquered finish is painted with enamel, and it gives off that similar glazed baked look. It's really unmistakable when you see an enamel or a lacquered dial. So I like that really glazed look a lot. And it also has the thermally blued hand. And when I say thermally blued hand, that means it's the real deal versus just hands that are painted blue. So there's a lot of authenticity and nice touches rather than just giving off that look with cosmetic purposes but aren't really using the real deal. So the blued screw, there are blued screws on the case back, which we'll get to in a little bit, and on the front with all of the hands. So the hour hand, the minute hand, the seconds hand, and the central seconds hand for the stopwatch function are all thermally blued, including the hands on each of the registers. The register at 12 o'clock is for the 30-minute register, at 6 o'clock for 12-hour register, and then the petite seconds at 9 o'clock, all using the thermally blued hand. So it really gives off a nice, really nice soft look. It might be a little harder to capture here in the video, but those thermally blued hands along with that lacquered dial just really comes together really nicely. And then the center portion of the dial is sunken in, so that really gives off some depth to the dial. And to me, I find that really attractive. And of course, we see the Eugen Wegner branding at 3 o'clock. It's not a pure white dial. To me, it's more of a, that off-white creamy dial that we would expect to see in an enamel or a lacquer dial. The case finishing is done entirely in a polished finishing, and they did a really nice job with this. Very smooth and very even and very deep. It just has a very traditional pocket watch theme, as all of their models have, because that's how they started, including the traditional pushers. It does have a signed crown with a W for Eugen Wegner. So when you look at it, to me, I really like I'm not making any secrets about it. I really like the look of this watch. It just has that nice classic look to it. So if we're talking about the movement, what is the movement that is powering the One? Well, it's the Valjoux 7750 automatic movement. And we can see, trying to get a better look of the thermally blued screws, but it's there, and it's all done in-house. And there's our custom rotor with the Geneva striping and that and the gold finishing there. Just really well done. And the movement Eugen Wegner claims is regulated in-house at +7 seconds a day, and it has a power reserve of 48 hours. I've been getting, in terms of accuracy, +4 seconds a day, so it's actually better than what Eugen Wegner is claiming. And everything is designed and regulated and adjusted in-house. So if we're talking about the straps, which we don't always talk about, it's a really nice, what they call the soft oyster glove leather here. It's a calf's leather, but really it has it's more of a nubuck finishing, kind of a nubuck suede finishing, which I quite like. And then on the inside of the strap, that's more of the traditional smooth leather that we see typically on the exterior of the strap, but it's lined with this instead, and it has that sort of nubuck finishing on the exterior. It's a nice deployant clasp. There it is, signed with a W on the clasp there. Really sharp here. So overall, when we're looking at this watch, some things worth noting are that obviously with a watch like this that mimics the pocket watches, it's not going to have any lume. To me, that's not a big difference between for a watch like this to me, because I do have a lot of watches I am fortunate to have, and most of them are lume. So I just like this really traditional classic look here. Also worth noting that it is not a screw down crown, but it is water resistant to 50 meters. Again, for me, not a big deal because I wouldn't take a watch like this into the water. I want to also share with you the presentation because it's a really nice presentation done by Eugen Wegner. It's a solid handmade oak box, and here's the lift. And it comes with an extra leather strap. This is more of the traditional calf leather versus the oyster leather there. Both straps use the quick release spring bar, so no tools are required to change out the strap. So here it is on black. And obviously the black is more of the traditional look. The brown has more of the modern look. Black, brown. I like the brown, so I'm going to stick it on the brown, but it's just another really nice option that Eugen Wegner uses. You know, their website is just it's just really well done for a brand that's been around, well, going on now almost 6 years now. They put a lot of attention to the development of their watches, to reviving this brand, to the website. It's just done really well. And whenever a website is done well and their presentations are done well, it always impresses me. The retail price on the One is approximately $2,200. So, you know, if you like a traditional looking watch, but a watch that has real history and a lot of nice details to it, like the blued hands and the blued screws, thermally blued, by the way, again, and that baked lacquered brass dial, and a storied brand that is kept within the family. In other words, it's not a brand that was swooped up by someone else trying to capitalize on their branding. Instead, it's been kept within the family. Then, you know, I think the One, as well as their Haviles or Phoenix, are definitely worth a closer look.